the ones are good. Those are the premium.
So, you were talking about Windows 11. So, in watching Microsoft's very bad keynote on Windows 11, one of the things that they really pushed was the idea that you can play Xbox games on Windows 11. So you have Microsoft with Xbox Cloud. You have Sony with its whatever it's called, the PlayStation or whatever.
Yeah, they bought Gaikai, right?
Yeah, and you have Stadia. So my question is, these consoles, they're always loss leaders. They sold the hardware at a loss, and then they made it up
in the games, $60 a piece. Yep.
So my question for you is, in your opinion, is console gaming on its deathbed?
Well, ask a console gamer, they'll say, perish the thought. But you have to wonder, it takes about, the release of consoles is almost a decade. They're almost a decade apart before you get a whole new model. So you got to wonder, 10 years from now, is there going to be a successor to the Xbox and the PlayStation? Will there be a PS6? I don't know. You're right. Cloud gaming is for many the future. But I tell you, anybody who plays, especially consoles or PCs, and they want that experience, they're going to say, no. Latency on the internet and other problems are going to mean it's never quite as good as the local hardware. So serious gamers will keep this stuff alive. And I have to say, Sony has reported incredible numbers for PlayStation 5 sales. There's no evidence that the console market is in any way less than super strong. So, I don't know. You know what I think we might see, though, is the end of PCs. Except for gaming. Gaming is around. But, Mike, I'm kind of thinking, with Windows virtualized as well, Microsoft now offers Windows 365. It's a little expensive right now, but if they get the price down, you could run Windows on anything, an iPad, a Chromebook, anything you can get online with. It may be the PCs themselves' days are numbered, except for specialty uses.
Well, wasn't it Larry Ellison back in like 1997, 1998 talked about thin client computing?
Yep.
So basically, I mean, he was
way ahead of his time.
But basically has been proven right, and we are moving into that direction.
I think we are. And it may be with gaming, and I think one of the reasons companies like Microsoft are trying this, and Google, is because they want to almost wasn't talking to you. They almost want to demonstrate that they're capable of doing this with one of the most demanding PC applications, gaming. If they can do it with gaming, they can do it with anything. Real report the tech guy. Nice to talk to you, Mike. Coming up, news on KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
I'm Andrew Caravella, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Police in Orange have been in a standoff with a person who may be connected to a shooting at Chapman University. The school tweeted around 10 this morning that shots were fired around the southern part of the campus, and the shooter is in a home off campus. Officials say the shooting doesn't appear to be related to anyone at the school. Police in Orange have said that the incident is still active and additional resources are responding. Hurricane Ida has now made landfall in Louisiana on the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Katrina made landfall as a Cat 3 storm on this day in 2005. This resident here says she didn't want to get caught up in another devastating storm.
Just like with Hurricane Katrina, we're not trying to be here for the disaster. So we ain't taking no chances with either.
Hurricane Ida is a Category 4 storm, and the governor of Louisiana says it may be the worst hurricane to hit the state since the 1850s. Officials in New Orleans say flooding is a major concern. New Orleans Chief Administrative Officer for Infrastructure, Ramsey Green, says up to 20 inches of rain are expected by tomorrow.
At times exceeding a rainfall rate of 3 inches per hour, which greatly exceeds our existing drainage ability. What that means is we would see flooding in this city.
But Ramsey says the city's levee system is very strong, so officials are confident the storm won't lead to any breaks like what happened during Hurricane Katrina. And dating apps have turned to new tactics to help people find a match.
Dating apps are moving past swiping left and right. Some apps have added videos and audio to allow people to interact in a way that hasn't been done yet with online dating. Bumble has a night-in trivia feature that lets users set up a virtual trivia date if they match with someone. Tinder has Swipe Night, which is a live interactive dating feature where singles follow a storyline, analyze clues, and help solve a mystery together. The companies have hinted there could be more interactive features to come. Layla Muhammad, KFI News.
What about the good old-fashioned days when you had to meet somebody by just looking at their MySpace? From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Crash on the 5.
Southbound before Crown Valley Parkway in Mission Viejo, it's an injury crash. Blocks the 3 right lanes. Only the carpool and left lanes are open. You're stopped from the Lisa Parkway. Now on the Cajon Path, big problems on the 15 northbound between Highway 138 and the escape ramp. All lanes are blocked here due to a brush fire. You're stopped from Cyclone Road. Southbound side slammed as well. And in Bell Gardens, the 710 southbound after Florence Avenue. Crash blocks the right lane around the brakes here from Atlantic Bandini. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Dave Joseph.
Southland weather from KFI. Tonight we'll get down into the lower to mid-60s and low 70s across Southern California. Then tomorrow we'll feel a slight cool down of about 5 to 10 degrees. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Andrew Caravella.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Take the shortcut to your next great hire. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, Instant Match immediately delivers a list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. The first step towards your new kitchen should be a free consult with my friends at the Kitchen Store. More than 50 years and still, the Kitchen Store is the place for kitchen cabinets. Dial 310-KITCHEN or go to 310kitchen.com.
Hi, this is Corky of Corky's Pest Control. Did you know that ants have a nervous system? At Corky's, we have a system that makes ants nervous. Call Corky's and get rid of your ants today.
Call 1-800-901-1102. Corky!
Let's get to know KFI's Employee of the Month,
Oh, thank you.
Layla Mohammed.
We had turtles when I was a kid. We lived in Louisiana. We had a small one, and I'm pretty sure this is not a dream. I think the turtle went down the drain. I think it literally went down the sink drain.
Congratulations to Layla Mohammed, KFI's August 2021 Employee of the Month. KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. 0.
First motion.
And there goes the Astra rockets. Completely sideways. It's not pointing, it's still pointing up. It's just edging along sideways. Rod Pyle's on the line. He's our space guy, editor-in-chief of Ad Astra, space.nss.org, author of many great books about space. Hello, Rod.
Hey, how are you?
What happened?
So Astra is the small startup, one of many small rocket startups that were targeting the small sat market, so little payloads. And they're about 5 years old. This is their third attempt. They haven't made it to orbit yet. And they've got a 5-engine liquid-fueled rocket that's about 43 foot tall. And the moment of ignition looked fine, and then it lifted up off the pad, and for those who weren't watching on video, started just literally pointing straight up and down, walking sideways off the launch pad for probably a good 20 feet, and then finally started going vertical.
Okay, I have never seen that happen. I shouldn't laugh, because I know it's heartbreaking for the guys. And look, this stuff is hard. This is only their third launch. They're still learning. So, no harm, no foul. You learn from this stuff. But still, I've never seen that. What happened?
So at first when I saw it, I thought, okay, one of the hold downs or one of the
It's still attached or something.
stayed attached, but it turns out that wasn't it. Right at the moment of ignition, one of the 5 small engines failed, and it only had enough thrust to stay in the air but not go up. And until some of the fuel was burned off, and then finally it was able to start ascending. So it went up for about 2.5 minutes, but then at 20 miles, something flew off the bottom. You can see it in the launch coverage if you watch it. It's under Astra Rocket, ASTRA. Good name. And
yeah, great.
He fell off.
Star in Latin. So
so they had to push the destruct button. But although it was a Department of Defense payload, it was just a test unit, so it was basically just a block of mass that would have been the same.
Yeah, no people were hurt. Although, this is scary. If a rocket fell over and went straight ahead, it could do a lot of damage.
Well, it could, but it's in Kodiak Island, Alaska, so what are you going to hit? Okay, you might take out a bison or something. So that was the small rocket news. And
right, unless you're a bison, you might not be too happy.
Well, then you'd be kind of upset about that.
Yeah. Why are they shooting rockets at me? So, is it, I'm looking at a tweet from Chris Kemp of Astra, reviewing flight data and video. Two things are very clear. An engine shut down right after launch. Everything that happened made me incredibly proud of our team. Space may be hard, but like this rocket, we're not giving up. So, yeah, good for them.
And they'll get there. You know, and there's a lot of these smaller launch companies coming up, and not all of them are going to make it because, you know, once SpaceX presumably gets Starship flying, unless you have to put a small payload up very quickly into a specific spot, which is why the DoD's interested in it and Space Force is interested in it, you're just going to go with one of the bigger ride shares. But there's more news this week.
What else is news in space?
You know, I every week it seems like we're talking about Musk and Bezos, or at least one of them, and I want to start getting back to some real rocket talk and some historical stuff eventually. But, you know, Bezos is just doing his way into the rocket business. It's driving people in the trade crazy.
Okay, so Microsoft, I'm sorry, not Microsoft,
Blue Origin.
Blue Origin, which is Bezos' space company, is in head-to-head competition, he thinks, with SpaceX.
Right.
Except they're not.
Well, right? I mean,
if you can't win in the
hardware yet, they're competing in the courtroom.
Yeah, but if you can't win in technology, if you can't win in the market, what's the next refuge? The refuge of scoundrels. You sue them. I think it's shameful, honestly.
Yeah, I do too. And as Musk tweeted, he said, it turns out Bezos retired in order to pursue a full-time job filing lawsuits against SpaceX.
Yeah.
Which isn't quite true.
So what's the lawsuit this time? What do they want that NASA contract?
This is continuing to sue NASA to say, look, you promised you were going to award at least 2 contracts for the lunar landing.
Well, that's true. That's not wrong.
Our share. Well, yeah, they made a commitment, but is it legally binding? That's the question. And they didn't get enough money to Congress, as we talked about, to buy 2 contracts. So they bought one for SpaceX and said, look, we intend to encourage competition in the space. We'll get back to you guys in a year or 2. But Bezos just isn't having it. So he filed again in a different court. And this has succeeded in stalling the Artemis Return to the Moon program for another couple of months until November 1. Then there's legal arguments that will be going on, and then we'll see what happens.
But what this does is it slows development of the Starship down, right? It puts,
well, it slows NASA's Artemis program down, which is struggling to try and get to the moon by 2024, 25. And all that time they got to sit on their hands waiting it out cost the taxpayers a fortune, because all that stuff's sitting there. So, for instance, stuff like the solid rocket boosters that are stacked up for the SLS rocket, which is supposed to be taking up those first couple of Artemis flights, those have limited life. And if they sit there more than 9 or 12 months, they have to be destacked and refurbished. That's really expensive. So there's a long-term cost to all this.
You know, I think about my good friend, the late Jerry Cornell, science fiction author.
Yeah.
Great guy, and a big supporter of citizen space, of commercial space development. He said, no, it's the only way it's going to happen. The government can't do it. He was kind of an anti-government guy anyway. You got to but I think what he underestimated, admittedly, NASA moves more slowly, government procurement is tough, Congress doesn't give them enough money, but nobody thought about, and if it's commercial entities, they're going to sue the pants off each other. Nobody thought about that part.
No, none of us did. And there's another...
That's not how to compete. Let's not compete that way. That's terrible. But that's what they do. In fact, Amazon sued Microsoft over an NSA contract. I mean, it's just what they do now.
And I was going to mention something just like that. Amazon is also now lobbying the SEC to deny some new licensing changes that SpaceX
Starlink.
For Starlink.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're saying, well, you can't change, again, you can't change the rules as they've been issued. And SpaceX is saying, look, yes, there are corporate reasons for this, but it'll also offer better coverage because we'll be covering different orbits than we were planning to because we learn as we go.
This is so there was something to be said for the NASA way of doing things. I like the commercial government partnerships. We've done a lot more than we would have done without the commercial entities. But this lawsuit thing, that's a problem.
It's just a stop, and that's not where to compete. You want to start putting some machines up into space, other than your tourist rocket, and start getting things done. Now, apparently, Amazon's going to launch their own constellation, of course, of broadband satellites starting in 2023, but they're talking about roughly 3,000, they call it the Kuiper system, which is named after some weak solar system objects out beyond Pluto, which is great. It'll be good to have a competing system so it's not just Starlink. But again, let's just put the stuff up there. Don't start by rattling your saber and threatening lawsuits. But there is some good news this week. How much time do we have left?
We got about a minute.
Okay, James Webb Telescope has passed its final check.
The Hubble replacement.
The Hubble replacement, and it's going to soon be shipped through the Panama Canal down to Corolla, Peru, excuse me.
It's huge, is it? Is it filled?
It's massive.
Oh,
I haven't seen it with the mirrors unfurled. I've seen it with the mirrors folded up, but it is massive. It's going to have about a 21-foot wide mirror, which is almost three times the diameter of the Hubble, and it will be working in infrared. So you can see much further because it can see through. Hubble's mostly visible in ultraviolet wavelengths. So in infrared, you can see past all the dust and the junk that's out in the deeper parts of the universe and really start looking back at the very edge of the beginning of time, which is very promising. And it's going to be part what they call Earth-Sun L2 or Lagrange 2, which is a stable point out beyond Earth's orbit. So it'll be in the Earth's shadow all the time. So between that and the natural cooling it's got and the artificial cooling it's got sunshades that pop up, hopefully, you'll be able to start really answering some of these very basic questions about the beginning of the universe.
So exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting.
So later this year or early next year.
Rod Pyle, spaceman at Astros at space.nss.org. Thanks, Rod. This is KFI Am 640.
I'm Andrew Caravella, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Hurricane Ida is now tied for the strongest storm to ever hit Louisiana. Winds have been tracked at nearly 150 miles per hour. Shoppers in Thousand Oaks don't have much time to buy Disney merch. The Disney store inside the Oaks Mall on West Hillcrest Drive has been scheduled to close by September 15th. And a man in Arizona has been arrested by police after being accused of shooting at police officers in Globe. Right now, looks like pain in the past. Brush fire, 15.
Both directions between Highway 138 and the escape ramp, both directions are shut down. Traffic is jammed here northbound from Cleghorn Road and very, very slow southbound side. Avoid the area if at all possible. Mission Viejo, the 5 southbound before Crown Valley Parkway. Crash cleared. Your stop to go from El Toro Road. And in South El Monte, the 605 northbound at Valley had an earlier crash cleared. Your stop from the 60 Pomona Freeway. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Dave Joseph.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Is it safe to return to work?
Should my kids go back to school?
Can I see my friends and family now?
As life returns to normal, our COVID-19 worries have not disappeared, but evolved. Cal Hope offers free tips and tools to help manage your stress. Call our warm line at 1-833-317-4673 or live chat online at calhope.org.
Gonna miss you around here, Iris.
Olivia's best optometry technician is going back to school.
Did we get that new friend?
Her eye is already twitching about finding a replacement.
This can't keep happening. We're gonna have to cancel appointments.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessment.
Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
With companies going remote, employees working from home, well, you're going to need access to the work computer, right? Well, Remote PC is the best solution to work from home and access your work computer from anywhere. With Remote PC, you can easily and securely access your PC or Mac at home or your office from anywhere, even with your iOS or Android mobile device. Remote PC is great for individuals, for small to medium-sized businesses, mostly because it's a very affordable, less than $7 a month, gives you up to 10 computers. Right now, though, it's even more affordable, 90% off for your first year when you use my name, Leo, at checkout at remotepc.com. PC Magazine said Remote PC is effortless with a simple interface and learning curve, fast performance, and users can easily transfer files between local and remote desktops. Leading tech publication TechRadar says Remote PC is the best remote access solution around. I agree. Go to remotepc.com right now. Sign up today with my name, Leo. You'll get your whole first year 90% off. Remote PC.
Tonight at 8, L.A. County Sheriff Alex Villanueva, unscripted.
I'm being cheered on by the people in the high desert because they lead a road. I'm being cheered on by the people in Venice, people on Olvera Street. Everyone was impacted by homeless throughout L.A. County.
What's the sheriff going to talk about?
Who is he going to talk about?
If the elites of the party want to see me resign, then you're going to be disappointed. I'm not going anywhere.
KFI gives the mic to L.A. County Sheriff Alex Villanueva tonight at 8
On KFI.
Oh, a big thank you to all the folks who make this show possible. Of course, Professor Laura, our musical director back at Sherman Oaks. Up here in Northern California, Kim Schaffer, a phone angel who answers the calls. And of course, all of you who listen all over the country, all over the world, really, thanks to the internet. And those of you who call in too, you also serve. Thank you so much for your support. And couldn't do it without you. We'll be back next week. I got one more segment before we have to sign off. And again, our thoughts, our prayers, good wishes, our hopes for all the folks in the southeast facing Hurricane Ida, a terrifying storm. Stay safe, please. Follow all the instructions of your local authorities. Too late now, I guess, to go out and get extra water and stuff, so just hunker down. Please stay safe. Don't go for a ride out there. Scott's on the line from beautiful Whidbey Island, up in the other side of the country. No hurricanes up there. Hi, Scott.
No hurricanes up here. I heard your call for help.
Oh, good. Help me.
I tried calling in yesterday, and it's like, So today it's like, Leo wants to call. Let me call him.
Yeah, if I say there's lines open, that's very unusual. So I'm glad you could call him.
I recognize it. I went back to, I kind of went back to a desktop and a laptop situation in January. I stopped using my MacBook Pro in clamshell and on my 34-inch monitor, and I bought an M1.
Nice.
Apple Mini M1.
How do you like it?
Same monitor. I love it. And it wasn't a big switch from my MacBook Pro was only a year old at the time I did it. So I didn't see a lot of difference, but I love it.
You see it more in the laptops because they run so much cooler and the fans aren't noisy, and the battery life is great. A desktop like a Mac Mini, you might not notice the difference, but boy, you sure see it on laptops.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm using my 30, I think it's a 32-inch or 34-inch monitor. I've had it for years.
Nice.
Plugged into the HDMI cable for my Mac. Every once in a while, I go to log into my Mac Mini M1, and I get nothing but snow on the screen. First time it happened, it took me a second to realize, HDMI. Unplugged the HDMI cable.
Right.
Waited a second, plugged it back in. It was clear.
Interesting.
And this has been repeated. It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen frequently enough to where I have to really try and figure it out. But it happened today as I said that, and I went, I got to call Leo. And then you said, hey, call me.
HDMI, as I mentioned before, HDMI is always a little weird because it has to do a handshake. So the monitor has to go to the Mac Mini. Hey, what do you support? And the Mac Mini says, what do you support? And then they agree. Snow is a little odd, to be honest with you. Are you letting it sleep? Is that what is waking up from sleep?
I do lock screen.
Okay, yeah, so that's asleep. Yeah. I am looking at a Reddit, the Mac Mini Reddit subreddit, reddit.com/r Mac Mini. This is from 6 months ago. Video is snow when waking up. So you're not the only person. And in fact, another fellow chimes in with, yeah, I just unplug it, replug it, it comes back on.
Yeah.
So it is happening. I wonder if it's the cable. You want to make sure do you have other HDMI cables you could try to see?
Yeah, I try to finally keep an extra HDMI. If I go rooting around in my supplies, I should be able to find another HDMI cable.
I would try that.
Invest in a new one.
No, I wouldn't necessarily. Well, don't buy a fancy gold-plated one, but if you're going to get a new one, get a HDMI 2.0 or 2.1, and get them for mono price at $15. I think it's possibly the cable, but I think it's also possibly the Mini. The M1 has been, it's new, and there's some little things, little bugs they're working out, and I think it may be the fact that I'm seeing this with at least 3 or 4 people on this Reddit thread tells me maybe there's an issue, because that's normally, if you don't get an HDMI handshake, you'll either get nothing, or you'll get an improper handshake, you'll get the wrong refresh or the wrong screen size, the wrong resolution. I don't think you would get snow. Snow means I'm getting a signal. I think it's a good signal. I'm going to display it, but the signal it's getting is not your screen. It's white noise. So that to me sounds like it could be the cable, but I think more likely it's the GPU on the Mac Mini is out of sync. There's something wrong with it. So, and maybe that's something Apple knows about and will fix.
Apple about?
Yeah, I mean, the people in this Reddit saying, actually, somebody says, known issue, Apple has a pile of M1-related display issues, this among them. It will likely be sorted out over the next few months. This is 6 months ago. With macOS updates, aside from unplugging, replugging, or turning the monitor on and off, there's not much you can do other than file a report with the feedback assistant, tell them your exact cable and monitor combo, and wait. So, yeah, it sounds like at least these guys on the subreddit think it's a Mac problem. I always say, if you have an HDMI issues, try a different cable. Right. Cable, it could be interference in the cable or a bad cable, but it sounds like maybe this is
and it wasn't clear to me if you thought it would be a cable issue or an M1 issue, and it sounds like it's probably more leaning toward an M1 issue because of how the Reddit screen.
Yeah. Oh, well, also the snow. The snow is off. Yeah, the snow is off. Are you going through anything, or is it coming directly from the Mac Mini into the monitor?
Direct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and somebody else in the chat is saying it's not, the cable will not fix it. I've tried 5 different cables. I have the same thing.
Okay.
So it must be I had not heard this issue, so it's not super widespread, but it sounds like something you might want to report to Apple, and maybe they'll get a fix out for it.
Yeah.
Nice to talk to you.
You got to do an ad after this segment?
I am going to do an ad. Why do you ask?
I just wanted to make sure you did your ad.
Mike B's usually responsible for that. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We got to get the sponsors in. Thank you. It's great to talk to you, Scott. Our show, as always, brought to you by iDrive. You know by now, I love iDrive, the best backup out there. It's not just me. PC Magazine says iDrive is the industry's best backup solution. They've said that for 7 years in a row, including 2021. They said you won't find a better overall online backup service than the full-featured iDrive, especially for the price. Now, they thought the price was $7 a month. They obviously hadn't heard these ads. 90% off for your first year. That's a limited time offer. You got to go to iDrive.com and use my name Leo for this. They just got also a best award from Digital Camera World. You know how finicky photographers are about backup. Digital Camera World says iDrive is fast and easy to use. You're going to love it. No one comes close. It's the industry's best, and at 90% off, it's also the industry's most affordable. Use the Leo promo code iDrive.com. 90% off for your whole first year. Last call of the day. Henry in Prescott Valley, Arizona. Hello, Henry.
Hello, Leo. Good to talk with you.
Thank you.
I wanted to tell you why I enjoy Rod Pyle so much.
Why?
In the middle 1950s, I belonged to an early gang. We were called the Space Happy Moon Mice.
In the 50s, you were in a gang called the Space Happy Moon Mice.
Correct.
Was it a motorcycle gang?
No, we designed, built, and launched our own rocket.
How cool is that? And where did it go? How far did it go?
They went up as much as 2,000 feet.
Wow. You know, nowadays, of course, you can go to the hobby store and get these, amateur rockets. They're so much fun. I used to do it with my son. But back in the 50s, this was non-trivial. You couldn't just go and buy a hobby rocket. So how cool is that?
We had to machine them.
You had to make them yourself? Out of metal?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And how did you get the engines? You didn't go to Estes to get a rocket engine. How did you get the rocket engines?
We drilled the hole in the bottom and put the igniter in there.
Wow.
I was the one who designed the igniter.
How cool. What fun. You were a rocket man back in the 50s. Henry, a pleasure talking to you. I enjoy Rod Pyle, too, I might say. Thanks to all our contributors, too. I remember to thank Rod Pyle and Chris Marquardt, Sam Abul Salmon. They make the show, too. Thank you all for being here. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Everything from the show, including audio and video, will be up there at techguylabs.com. That's free, no charge, thanks to our great sponsors. I hope you have a great Geek Week. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, Louisiana. Bye-bye. Protecting your most valuable data, family photos or videos, important business documents, that's crucial. Just ask anyone who's lost everything on their computer from a hard drive failure, ransomware. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's a matter of when. Your computer, your phone, or tablet is dropped or stolen. You put your critical data at risk. That's why we look to iDrive Backup. iDrive for providing safe and secure cloud backup. With iDrive, you can back up everything you've got, PCs, Macs, and mobile devices in one account. iDrive is simple to use, it's affordable, uses strong encryption to safeguard your data. No wonder PC Magazine has given them their best backup solution for 2021. Once again, that's the Editor's Choice Award for the 7th year in a row. iDrive plans start at just $7 a month, but if you sign up today for a limited time, you'll get 90% off using the promo code LEO. It's the best in the business, iDrive.com. No one comes close. And now 90% off for your whole first year. Just use my name, Leo. iDrive.com. KFI AM 640.
KFI News. We're on it.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Total freeway shutdown. I'm Andrew Caravella, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. At the top of the hour, we do have breaking news.
News is breaking. Here's the latest from the KFI newsroom.
Interstate 15 in the Cajon Pass has been shut down in both directions due to a wildfire that has occurred this afternoon. Officials say the fire broke out in the area of the 15 and Cleghorn. Once again, Interstate 15 in the Cajon Pass has been shut down in both directions due to a wildfire that has occurred this afternoon. We will provide more details as they become available. A brush fire along the edge of the Cleveland National Forest in Riverside County has now burned more than 1,400 acres. The fire started yesterday afternoon and quickly spread. 2 buildings have been destroyed. Evacuation orders are still in effect for homes in Murrieta near the southern part of the forest. The fire is 10% surrounded. Air quality around South Lake Tahoe is deteriorating as a massive wildfire moves closer. Jim McCall lives in South Lake Tahoe and says he's never seen anything like it.
One of the days the sky turned black. It was like about 4:30 in the afternoon. The street lamps were coming on. It looked like something out of Wizard of Oz, like really scary stuff.
CAL FIRE officials say the wildfire has scorched more than 150,000 acres and destroyed nearly 500 homes. It's only 19% surrounded. President Biden has released a statement warning about the potential of more attacks in Afghanistan as the U.S. continues to try to get more people out of the country.
The president saying, quote, "We will continue to hunt down any person involved in that heinous attack and make them pay." President Biden calling the situation on the ground extremely dangerous and saying that the threat of a further attack on the airport remains highly likely.
ABC's Dave Packer says the next couple of days are expected to be especially dangerous. Biden also says the airstrikes against ISIS-K, which has claimed responsibility for the bombing at the Kabul airport last week, are likely to continue. Health officials in LA County say COVID-19 case rates among kids are on the rise. The Department of Public Health says there has been a steady increase in cases among vaccinated and unvaccinated kids between the ages of 12 and 18, but there are significantly more cases among unvaccinated children. More health insurance companies are saying no to free COVID care.
70% of the nation's largest health insurance companies are no longer waiving COVID costs. The Kaiser Family Foundation said its rationale is picking up the tab for a COVID patient's hospital stay runs counter to encouraging Americans to get preventative care, like vaccines. A new CDC study shows the risk of being hospitalized is 29 times higher for people who are not vaccinated compared to those who've gotten their shots. The Kaiser study also found another 10% of health insurance providers say they'll phase out cost sharing by the end of October. Amy King, KFI News.
Let's go ahead and check in with Dave Joseph. Looks like he has some more info on that fire in the Cajon Pass.
At a 15 both directions between the 138 and the escape ramp, all lanes are currently blocked in both directions. Northbound traffic being diverted onto the 138, while the southbound side of the 15 is being diverted onto Oak Hill Road. If you can avoid this area of the 15, please do, even though it is a getaway or going home Sunday. Very heavy traffic here through the Cajon Pass. East LA, the 5 southbound at Dittman Avenue, crash blocks the 2 middle lanes. It has you stop from 4th Street. And in Inglewood on the 405 northbound before Century Boulevard, a crash blocks the Parkview Lane. You're from El Segundo Boulevard. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Dave Joseph.
We'll check out your afternoon weather next.
If you thought you missed the lowest mortgage rates in history, you're in luck because they're back. Mortgage rates are near historic lows again. So if you have a mortgage, refinance it and forget it. You'll never have to worry about refinancing again. Network Capital Funding is offering a low 15-year fixed rate at 1.75% with a 1.93 APR. Incredible! Network Capital has built a reputation for saving people time and money with our unique process that's fast, simple, and secure. Our 15-year fixed rate is 1.75% with a 1.93 APR. Second chances don't come often, and you may never see these rates again. So refinance it and forget it. That's a 15-year fixed at 1.75%. Yes, 1.75% with a 1.93 APR. Call the experts at Network Capital now. 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1-HIT. As in home run. Call now and save big on your refi. 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1448. NMLS ID 11716, not licensed in all states. Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Licensed by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation and the Financing Law. Number 603D787. An equal opportunity lender. Rates subject to change and may not be available rate law. Discount points may apply. Subject to credit approval. Call 800